Go.
Oh, happy Monday, Pioneer Villagers. Monday night family show. Hey, there it is. See, I got the special effects there on the bottom. That's Richard. I'm Ryan. Look, I even got, no, I got the, did I get that wrong? I got the opposite of where we're sitting.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, see? Look at your name, my name. Anyways,
Let's get that changed.
we'll get that fixed for next week. Hey, guys, how's it going? Pioneer. I just want to make sure that we are on. Remember, guys, to like, share, and subscribe. As I always say on the Monday night shows, this show works absolutely the best when you get off your butt and start typing in questions. That's how it works. Michael Peevler, Bruce Dickinson, you guys are on. Happy Monday night.
This is a show for people to, excuse me, Lucy. Excuse me, the cat's on here, to learn. And people that call in and ask questions that are very simple, very good questions. And we may think we know it all, but we learn when we help people out. That's when we learn. We've been playing with pigeons for a few years. And when you help people with simple questions, that's when we learn. So people, please, simple question. What is a pigeon? Simple. Someone will explain. It helps them. It helps us.
That's right. And, you know, as we get on to the show, a few weeks ago, I talked to Alfred from Van Zoren in Holland, and he's got his own regular race lofts, but he built himself, and you guys are going to see this here in a second on the screen. He built himself another small little young bird loft where he's going to have about 30 youngsters in this loft, and he's different birds than his own. He's trying that out, and I don't know if he's on or he's not on, but before we get in to let people come on, I wanted to show you the cute little loft he built that I seen when I was there. There it is.
Wow.
Look at that.
Very nice.
Isn't that something? Now, remember, he's a top flyer, and look at what he's having a bit of fun with, trying a different family of pigeons, going to fly them a different way. And, you know, here's the loft. And very simple. I got he even sent me photos of the inside. There you see it. The heat goes up through the top. Little box perches, some V perches. Nothing special.
Very nice.
Yeah, nice.
You know, simple. I remember when my mother allowed me to keep some birds, my grandfather said, hey, give him some birds. Man, I only had a little box that was 2 feet high, 4 feet wide, 8 feet long, with a little hole in the middle. No, I couldn't, you know, I couldn't go in there. The birds, I was feeding them, you know, on the ground. Call them, they come, they eat on the ground. Wintertime, I used to move the snow on the ground, feed them on the, you know, this is beautiful.
Nice, eh?
Oh, gosh.
And,
man,
you know, he's going to try a little bit of different family of pigeons, a family he's wanted to try and play with. But he didn't want to bring someone up. And these are young birds.
Right.
He didn't want to bring other birds into his loft.
Okay, yeah.
So he set this little loft up. And believe it or not, this loft is completely collapsible. You know,
Very nice.
You know, very, very nice, very simple setup.
Nice little fly pen there.
Yeah.
And then they come in on the top. He's got a landing board on top. They come in on the top.
On the top of that aviary there.
Yeah.
That's where they come in. But I think very, very nice. And he sent that to me. Also, he had a real good result. He had they flew 100 kilometers. And I'll post this up here as well so you guys can see it. 2,900 pigeons. He was 8th, 9th, 43rd, 44th, 45th, 88th. Again, good speed, flying 1,169 meters a minute. So not a fast warm-up race, but only 100 kilometers.
like a working race.
Yeah.
Kind of working.
But
yeah.
you know, 2,950 birds. He's 8th, 9th, 43, 44, 45, 88. Good results. Yeah.
Very good.
Right off the bat for Alfred. Let's see if we got any comments, because I'm switching up as I go here. Michael Peebler, Michael Parrish. No comments. This could be a tough one tonight. Remember, guys, this show works best when you participate. And remember one thing. It's only an hour, this show. So you've got to get in your questions in an hour. I also wanted to mention, for Americans, this coming week, send us your birds to the Pioneer One Loft. This is for Americans. There's going to be one more collection. I'll post this up here in the bottom. For our U.S. breeders, you are going to be sending this coming Monday to our U.S. address. This coming Monday, the 24th of April. Our U.S. address, you see, it'll be here on the bottom of the screen. Put it to my name. Put it to the P.O. Box, 313-3909 Whitmer Road, Niagara Falls, New York. Okay. The P.O. Box, or the zip code's in there. It's all in there for you. Put the phone number in. And please, 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 please give me your tracking number. And don't send the birds after Tuesday, because, hey, I got to make sure I bring these birds back by Thursday, Friday. I'm not going to be sitting there all weekend. Just not going to do it. If you send me the tracking number on the Monday or the Tuesday your birds have been sent, obviously I'm going to wait. If you start dicking around sending birds on Wednesday and Thursday, you know, I don't know what to say on that. That's not very nice. So anyways, there you see the addresses there in the bottom. April 24th is Sherry's birthday. Happy birthday, Sherry. Tracy, Stan, I have any of the raced pigeons in the 100 kilometers come from that small loft? No, that's a young bird loft, Stan. So he's going to be adding new birds into it this year. A little bit of a fun family that he's playing with. So we'll have to wait for young bird season to start, but he's already got the birds in there, I believe. And we'll have to catch up with Alfred to see how he is doing and kind of go from there. So it's quiet tonight. It almost feels like crickets.
It's almost like Lucy's.
Yeah,
she's waiting, as you can see her. I have a pair of youngsters here in a little box here. I'm hand feeding, and she loves to snatch the odd youngster. She won't take an old bird, but a youngster like this,
she likes to eat them, boy.
She will just take them.
They must taste good.
She's sitting here and she knows.
She knows. She's ready to what we call pigeon hunt.
Yeah.
No dicking around, folks. Nope. That's what Tracy says. No dicking around. I was looking, and sometimes, I notice it. I really notice it when I'm in Europe. Mm-hmm. I go and I look at birds at guys' lofts, and I almost never, ever, ever see lice.
No. Oh, watch Lucy. Lucy. No. Get down. Go.
There she goes.
She's sneaky.
Lice. Interesting topic. What do you guys think about lice, mites, flies?
Excuse me.
What do you guys think?
Pigeon fly, yeah.
Again, guys, pigeon lice. Interesting. Do people even know what they look like?
There's something I know what they look like. There's something on the feathers. They got the little short little guys with little kind of wings
Ricky,
on them.
Don't worry, my friend. Look at this. I brought up a little.
Wow.
Look at this. Now,
there you go.
This is a pigeon lice.
Yeah.
And I will. I'll take it off here so you guys can see. So this is a pigeon lice, and again, it runs on the feathers of the pigeon, along the quill and on the feathers. You see, those are the riffles in the feathers.
Yeah, they look a little bit larger in this picture, but they're much smaller, and they're almost like an ant type little guy that runs on the feathers.
And as they say, they almost look like a cigarette. They got a cigarette sort of look to them. You see how they look?
Cigarette.
They're not round. They're long. They're long. This is what they say in the book. Okay, they're a longer shape. They got 6 legs. If you blow them up close, they look like this.
Yeah, they almost look like a flying ant with yeah.
That's right. That's how they look when they're on the feather. When you open the wing, here's another picture of how they look.
Yeah.
Now, really.
Now, what we should do is next time we get some nice-looking girls and we just put some white T-shirts on them.
Ooh.
And let them handle the birds. And usually, if you're handling, you have a white T-shirt and you handle birds, then you'll find them all on your T-shirt because they like the heat, body heat. They love that.
Right.
You know? And I get so turned off when I'm shipping at a club and you say, so-and-so's birds up or whatever, put them down. Look at your T-shirt. Oh, just crawling with lice. And I've said to guys at the club, so-and-so, don't bring your birds back here like this. Absolutely zero. And anyone that would take their birds to a club that is crawling with lice like that should be automatic. No, go home. Don't come back tomorrow. That's the way I feel.
Well, that's a good way of looking at it. And I thought to myself, well, what do lice? Is a lice really that bad?
Yes.
I thought about it, and then I looked it up in the book. So, well, what damage do lice do to pigeons? It's quite simple. They eat the feather,
the plumage.
Yeah, they eat the plumage. They eat parts of the feather and the plumage. And the bloom, the super feather condition. Yeah, that's when you're covered in lice, you can never achieve complete super condition.
But you know what I'm going to tell you is if you got your pigeons going to the club covered in lice like that,
look, there's lice on the face.
Look at that. Yeah, 100%. Oops, this bird just a little young one here just crapped on your wallet there, sir. But yeah, if you're delivering birds like that, taking them to the club like this,
not good.
It's not good. I don't really think you're going to really achieve that much this year in your club because you already got something against you. This is not good.
And again, how do you check for lice? Here you can go open the wing up and you'll see the lice in the feathers of the birds. You can see it even.
I also think in that photo they got red mite too.
And this is a double photo. And we're going to talk about mites in a second, but you can see there's lice and there's mites.
Red mite.
And you see these are lice on the feathers. So for you guys that open up a wing of a pigeon and you see these, this is lice.
And best way to look at this if you want to see it is hold the birds they're not on your T-shirt, okay? Open the bird's wing to the light. Sunlight, light. You'll see it right there. You'll say, oh, God. You know.
Okay. Now we got some comments here. So we'll get to the comments. We're going to talk more about lice and what to use to get rid of it.
What you're doing here on this program is you're stoking the fire.
Well, we got to stoke some shit.
That's right,
for sure.
100%.
And if you're cold, you better put damn wood on, or you're going to stay cold.
We're going to get her going now.
So, what are we saying here? William says, hey, when are you coming to New Jersey? I'll be in New Jersey next week, planning out our auction tour for this coming November. We're going to put the auctions on hold until October. I was going to do an auction in Long Island, New Jersey, New York area, but I just don't know if people are more focused on racing. So I'm going to take a break right now. We got all the birds ready to roll. They're photoed. They're pumped. They're ready. But I will be in New York next week. I have to do a loft tour there. pick up birds in the U.S. and we're going to the Perth Amboy Club. I want to see the layout of the club for our auction. Joseph says, "Hey, how's it going, Jay-Z?" Bruce Dickinson says, "What would make a bird cover feathers on their wings curl?" What would make a bird's cover feathers on their wings curl?
I always say that's perfect health.
Now,
We're talking those little curly feathers on the shoulders and
yeah, we call them boogies or whatever we call them.
Yeah, we used to call them boogies.
Yeah, that's right.
Boogies. You like the boogie? That's the same thing.
I don't know.
So they were like little boogies, or we call them little, almost like little curls on the shoulder feathers. The back, I always say that's
good condition,
perfect health.
And I think some birds carried a little bit more in them, but yeah. Jay-Z, you can't miss them if you have a white pigeon. No, you can't miss them. You can see them on all the colors of pigeons. Again, when you hold the pigeon up into the light, into even a light bulb, hold it up on a black, on a blue, on a red, on a checker, any color, you'll see the lice.
No, we're not talking about lice. He's talking about those shoulder feathers.
Well, I think he said you'll see it on white pigeons. It's easier on white.
He said on white pigeons. You're not looking.
No, this is JC.
Yeah.
You can't miss them if you have a white pigeon.
Yeah. White pigeons, you kind of see it more.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, you're talking on the curls on the feathers?
Yeah, that's what
JC's and Jay-Z's saying, unless he means lice.
No, he's not talking about
I don't know. Jay-Z, were you talking about lice or were you talking about the curls on the feathers? I'm going to go with lice. Let's just see how close I am. I'm just saying. I got a feeling I know. Josh Tribley says, I usually get some a couple weeks into the breeding season. I treat them with Bravo from Tractor Supply, spray under the wings, and a vent. Okay, that's a way to treat it. Michael Peebler says, if you're sexing your birds in the nest, would it be likely doing a day-old baby like a chicken? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if it's really hard to. I think they're sometimes easy when they're babies to sex them a little bit. You just look at the size difference.
You usually see the head is a little bit larger on a youngster. Like we have two youngsters right here, and I mean.
Now people say, "Oh, will Listerine work?" I think I don't know if you had a lice breakout problem, if that's going to help. But they say,
if you put Listerine in the water on a regular, your birds are no lice. It's going to knock that. Any lice gets on there, boom.
Now this is what they say. You sort of need this product right here for lice. Parethium. Parethium?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what you're going to use for lice. And they say if you're going to treat for it, okay, if you're going to treat for the lice, one of the best ways is to soak the bird, dunk the bird. And they say when soaking the bird, you got to soak them right through. Open the feathers up, move them, open the tail up, get the bird soaked right to the bone. And they say if you do it right on a normal day, the birds take 2-3 hours to dry out completely. But you put that in the water, you soak them, and then whenever you have a bath, put a little bit in there.
I'm going to make a statement.
Go ahead.
But I just shake my head when you're talking about soaking them and doing all this stuff. I never have this problem.
Well, because
I don't know why I don't have this problem. I'm just going.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about you though. I'm talking about people. I've been to the annual show circuit here, and I'll use the show circuit. I look at guys' birds are covered on a show.
What show?
All the fancy pigeon show guys. I look at birds.
I'm sorry.
I see Medinas with it. I see runts with it. I see.
Wait, you're getting me wound up right now.
I'm not.
I hate to say it.
I'm not.
A show circuit people.
Okay.
Yeah, but I hate to say it.
I see it on racing pigeon guys, but what I'm saying is,
but I never have that problem.
Okay, right. But I don't give two shits about you.
No, but
why are you learning or are you not learning?
Well, you're trying to help people out. So I'm trying to
get
say,
a bird in.
Why do they have lice?
They have lice.
Why do they have to soak?
The birds aren't in super form. The birds aren't super healthy. And you see that.
That's
when
what
birds get run down or they're not right, the lice climb on.
They don't have the right minerals, probably.
They're not bathed enough.
Salts,
they're not taking
minerals.
care enough.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. Yeah, Jay-Z meant lice.
Lice?
Yeah. William says, how about your young bird auction? Yeah, we got to work. I got to see what guys want to put birds in this young bird auction. I haven't even thought about that. But we'll have that. Don't worry. I'm sure we're going to have something. And again, it will be fun. We always make it fun, whatever we do. Mo, the cheese man's in the house. How's it going, Mo? Michael Peeler says, they look at the inside of the vent bump, and if it's a hen, it's a bump inside, and if it's a cock, that would be the same for a pigeon. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried it. I haven't looked. I guess that's an idea. About sexing young pigeons.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't overly worry. Not that I don't overly worry. Kind of look at the faces. I look at the size. That's how I tell. But chicken people, I guess if that's what they do, that's great. Another thing I wanted to talk about, again, you don't have this problem. People have the problem. Pigeon mites. Mites, another problem. What do mites do? Hey, what do they look like? Let's see. There's a mite. Now, mites are normally red. This isn't red because this is a photo. So for you pros, that don't look red to me. But that's a mite. That's a photo under a microscope of what it looks like. They say a mite looks like a spider. It eats the blood. Blood, it goes to the mouth, it goes to the eyes, it goes to the vent area, and it drinks.
And it's a lot. Like, you don't see it like this. A mite is very, very small.
That's right.
And it's usually a reddish color. Well, I can see right there on the quills.
Quills is full of mites.
See it?
The quills the quills almost look hairy on the feather, on the quills. They look like they got fur growing out of them as well.
Oh, yeah.
That is the mites. Now, again, they suck the blood. They get into the bird's mouth, into the eye, into the vent area, and they basically what they do is they're constantly eating the pigeon.
Oh.
So, are you going to achieve super form with mites?
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. Now,
and they like these little creatures. They like to climb on your birds when your bird is down.
Yes,
down.
And
you know, that's when you get it.
They'll live in your loft. You can spray your loft down. But for mites, this is what they use. This is what they say is good for mites. Mox adecaliciting. Great word.
10.
Okay.
Right.
Another thing you can use. So this product here doesn't work on lice, but it works on mites. So these two products, you sort of got to use them the same, you know?
Yes,
one will not get rid of the other. Just, this is what I've read. Now, this is only what I've read, and you guys are going to say, well, who in the hell gave you this inside information? Well, this is the book here. There it is. Good book. It comes from Australia. It's got color pictures. It's got a lot of stuff. I was looking at it today. I'm not the best reader, but I was looking at it in there, and I found some more interesting stuff that we're going to talk about. Let me get back to see what our comments are.
This book here is written by a pigeon veterinarian, pigeon flyer, racing pigeon man, also a veterinarian. So
right. What do we got here? We usually get it from the combine trailer a couple weeks into the race season. Dave Kozer, back in the day, I dropped in Malathion, and it worked. Okay, this is what Dave Conover says. That's what he used.
Dave Crozier.
What day will you be at Grover's? I don't know. I'm not going to be probably at Grover's, but I am going to be coming back from New York to pick up the birds. So we'll have to keep in touch if you're going to be dropping off birds.
Josh,
I
think it was Dave was saying they called it. Well, here Menithium permanganate.
Okay.
And now we can't get any more. If your fingers got a little bit damp and you touch the crystals, you get purple on your crystals, on your fingers. You put just a bit in the water would turn purplish.
Now,
But now we can't get it.
Now, for people wondering, like Michael Peeler said, well, what can you use? Can you mix them? Can you do this? This here is a product that we use. Solar, whatever you call it, mectin, solamectin. This gets rid of lice, mites, flies, internal mites, worms. It does a lot of different types of worms. Put this in the bath water. They say they're really not supposed to drink it. If you put it in the bath water and the birds go have a bath, they have a drink, it's okay. You put a couple drops. You don't poison the water with it. Okay, that's a product. Another product in Belgium that they use, the stop mite from Comet. Another good product. Another good product is this one here. Again, both of those last two products I showed, they sell them at Siegel's there. So just to give you some ideas of things that you can use.
So if you have those powders,
and again,
I recommend
mites.
if you have, for example, your nest bowl, right? So you got a bowl, a nest bowl with youngsters. Take the youngsters out. Put a couple shots of that powder
in the bowl
underneath the youngsters.
Yeah, in the nest.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And it helps them out.
And another thing, when you lift up the nest bowl, if you clean out, you put a little bit on, even on the wood in there.
Yeah.
They say a lot of these bugs, they like moisture. Right. So wet nest bowls aren't good.
No.
Right. It breeds it. It comes to it.
That's like, this little nest bowl here, it's all aerated underneath.
You're holding it up just a bit high.
Hold up too high.
Lower it down. There you go.
Right. Or, those clay nest bowls.
Clay nest bowls are
They
good.
got the vent holes. But I know you went to visit, who was it?
The Munichs.
The Munichs. And if you watch that video on that visit, and you kind of take a little look, it wasn't even pointed out, but I noticed it. They had underneath their nest bowls, they had the clay nest bowls, but he had a plastic piece underneath with
holes,
vent holes underneath that went right underneath the nest bowl, so the air was constantly going underneath.
And that's what's so great about these bowls here is underneath. It's all plastic. It's all little wire meshing, plastic meshing.
Air holes.
And the whole thing breathes. Now, it keeps your bird dry. Dry is good. Other things that work. What don't bugs like? Pine needles. So if you're building a nest and you're giving your birds pine needles, the smell of the pine detracts the bugs from wanting to come to it.
And now, another feature is, please, pine needles, the long needle pines. They're about that long. 3 or 4 inches long. When you go and collect them, they should be dried and brown. Don't put the green ones, don't see a pine tree with long needles and say, I'm going to start pulling those needles off and put them there. They have to be dry pine needles. And you can, around here, if you find pine trees, those pines, you can go underneath there and just rake. You'll get a bushel basket in about a minute.
If they're brown and it's poured rain, rake them up, put them in a garbage can, put them in a bushel basket. In about a half an hour to an hour, they'll be bone dry. Trust me, they're real good.
The pine needles kill. Those bugs won't even come close.
So hold on here. Again, Dave Conover says he uses the powder. Powder works good, right?
Yeah.
And if you're powdering your birds, guys, what do you powder? You don't powder the head. Powder under each wing. Flip them over a little bit on his back there, where the vent bones are. Just a little bit in. Rub them in.
The vent. Yep.
put them in the loft. That's good. Hey, if you can put them in the basket, put them in the basket, put them in the loft. Do it when it's dark. Put them in their box, whatever.
Yeah, better when it's kind of dark. Yeah, everybody settled in.
I wouldn't powder them and
let them go for a fly. Yeah.
No. Pine needles. Okay, so hold on here. We got some more comments coming in, and we got a few more things I want to talk about. I learned a few more things. And looking at a book, I should do more reading. Mike Green says hi. How's it going, Mike Green? Gilbert from the Philippines is watching. Ho, hey. Josh Tribley says, I'll call you tomorrow after work. Okay. If I don't answer, I will get back to you. Who's your outdoors? Who's your outdoors? Where are you from? Who's your outdoors? What's a good time to keep new birds quarantined? What's a good time? I need you to elaborate on the question.
No, but I understand what he's saying.
What is it?
Let's say he's getting a bird in from someone. He's bought a bird. He's bringing it, into his loft, and he wants. What's a good time to quarantine it? In other words, I put it into a section before I take the bird and put it in with my birds. I would say 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, after 2, you're going to basically, when you put the bird in, let's say you put the bird in a show cage. Let's just say where the droppings go through and you can look at the droppings. First thing you do, watch the droppings, look at the droppings, see what's coming out of the bird. This way, you see how the feathers look on the bird. You see how he stands. You see how white his wattle is. You see how the eye looks, the sparkle, tight feathers. You look, you check for lice, you check for mites. Check for that stuff. You see the droppings. After 2 weeks, if everything's solid.
Hopefully, when you get that new bird, maybe you couldn't inspect it before you got it. But if you're going to a loft, that's supposedly a loft that you appreciate, and you check it and say, hey, son, you're full of lice. You know what? I just walk out of there.
Right. Now, here's a question. Sam says hi. How's it going, Sam? Michael Peeler says, should you spray your birds before the first race? I don't think so. I'm trying to build the feather, the plume, the bloom, everything on that bird. I don't want to spray them. But, I say you win races when the season's not on. Those birds there, they should be bathed every week. You should be looked at. When you're not in race season, make sure, hey, you want to put this stuff in the water, treat it great. I wouldn't spray the birds, but
I'd say maybe when the bird comes back, the next 2 or 3 days after it's arrived, you're going to give them a little bath, maybe.
And if they're
put a little bit, that's where I like to put the Listerine in the water. That knocks out. I'm saying very important when you go to the club. Again, have your little white T-shirt on
and handle other people's birds.
When so-and-so's birds come up, you handle and you look at your T-shirt. It's just crawling with lice that you can see. I've done it before. I'd say, hey, don't put no more birds.
But it's so funny when you tell somebody they got lice.
They get upset.
Well, I get it. But it's
they
funny.
Should get upset.
It's funny how they are.
Well,
it's like you're.
It upsets me because I don't have lice. I don't have shit like that. So don't bring it to the club. If you're listening, figure it out before you go to the club because that's not right.
Okay, Dave says the Purple Stuff Pro Mag was great stuff. Not sure we got to get it. He got it from a water company in his area. Magnamate, the stuff you were talking about.
Participant magnamate. Yeah.
Boy, that's a bad word.
I got it like
that's a bad word.
I think could be 40 years ago. I could get it, but now here we can't get it.
Ray Sheeran's on. Yes, pine needles work well. What's great about pine needles out of a lot of the nesting material is, and if you get the hard pine needles, when they stack them up, they basically make a nice layer of a nest which lets air through. You ever notice a pine needle nest? Very airy.
That's right.
Different than straw. Okay, pine needles are great, and tobacco stems, yeah. And because the tobacco stems are large, long, big, when they stack them, it creates ventilation through the nest.
And those nest pads you can get, I have some here. The ones that I'm going to actually bring one out. They're excellent. The ones we have. There's another one you can buy that's kind of a creamy color. Nest pad. What do you call it? A pad?
Right.
Right. But it's almost like cottony cotton pad, and that soaks up the moisture.
It's not the same.
They never dry.
Okay.
I can get one of those pads. I have one right here. You can see. You could actually, this pad, you could actually smoke it if you want.
And you can see the light through it.
Light through. It's airy.
Right.
Right.
We'll show that maybe next week.
No, I have it right here. I can just get it in a
Alfred says, well, I'm trying to figure this one out. Probiotics are the best. They have dry manure and bugs don't like that. What's this word? And okay. I think I know what he's saying. Here we go. 1978 Baby Bear says, half nose is gray, same side eye watery, respiratory, or one eye cold. What is the best fix in your opinion? Bubbles in the eye. So it's respiratory.
Yeah.
What's the best fix, Ricky? What do you think? And we talked about this. This is the year we notice of respiratory.
Yeah.
Now
watery eye.
I'm wondering where Baby Bear's from.
Just plain.
What area?
I haven't got a clue.
Well, I'll read it again. Half the nose is gray. So dirty waddle. The same side, he's got a watery eye. Is it a one eye cold respiratory? And there's bubbles in the eye.
He's got, we get it now. I don't know where he's from at this time of the year here. We get it from dampness and cold combined. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In other words, it's like winter melting plus cold on top of it. So in other words, it just goes down to chilly, freezing, plus a little bit of melting weather, like I'm talking. Then you get that, and you got to give almost like a penicillin medication to get rid of it. And sometimes it'll take 3 to 4 weeks to get rid of it.
To cure it.
And the birds almost plug up in the eyes, like it's like, watch my eye, just like kind of opens a bit, plugs up. Next thing, the bird's eye will be plugged. You holler at him, he opens his eye it's not like the one eye cold. It's that yellow stuff where they rub their shoulders. They get yellow all over the shoulders. This is a different one. This one's harder to get rid of. It takes three weeks at least to a month to get rid of it. And if you notice, I mean, the birds eat, they still have a good body, but it's kind of a pain.
So for the season, Alfred says, drops under each wing and on the tailbone. So he puts a drop. And again, you can use stuff like this, certain products there. And in the bath water, they also said for bath water, when dipping these birds, okay, the lice and the mites, they don't like warm water. So they recommend when you dip the birds, make it in warm water. I always say when you bathe your pigeon, make it nice and warm. It's nice, it's comfortable, it's relaxing. You see the pigeons like it. I noticed that.
I don't know if a lice or a mite is the same as a flea on a dog or a cat, but I know a fella. He's a pigeon flyer. I don't know if he's still flying. I know he moved out west to British Columbia. Damien Josham. He worked for the Environment Canada. He's checking out ticks and stuff on deer and all that. And he said, if your dog has fleas, people go and buy flea shampoo and whatever. He said he said what kills them, just give your dog a bath, put a bit of soap on because you want your dog to get cleaned up a bit, but submerge him in the water. And what happens is, it's not the flea shampoo that kills them. It's the water. They hate water
drown.
and they drown.
Now,
They're done.
they said when you soak a bird,
Right?
you gotta soak it to the bone. Soaked.
Right to the skin.
And they said even you soak the bird in the water right up to underneath his head, and you massage the feather, massage the body, massage the tail. She soaks. You know what they said? Dunk the bird 2 or 3 times. Head, wong wong under, wong wong under, wong wong under. So the bird's whole head, everything gets soaked. And they say if you do it right, your birds take a couple hours to dry. So.
Okay, but my question is, why would someone's birds have it so bad that you got to soak them?
This book here.
So what I'm saying is, you can soak and eliminate the lice, the mites, but wait, why did you get it in the first place?
Right.
Maybe you brought in a bird that was full of it. But if your birds aren't healthy and have the right minerals and all that stuff, if they have all that good stuff, I don't believe they're going to get it, like what we're talking about.
Right. But we're saying if you have the problem, some ways to get rid of it. I see new guys. That show up. They bought pigeons from somewhere. Guy, I don't know who they are. They're not racing pigeons. I don't know what breed they are. Guy brings them. He said, I paid $20 a piece for these birds. Bring them here. You open up the wing, the birds look like they got 1 million lice on them.
Oh,
and I'm going, who in the hell had these? Well, I bought them off of Kijiji. Well, you gotta.
Now he's got to get rid of it.
You got to get rid of it. So, we don't have this problem. You and I don't have this problem because we don't keep our pigeons like pigs. Okay? Nice and clean. Our birds are in good condition. Our auction birds, the birds have super feather quality. People always talk about soft, silky feathers. Nice. You see the baths we give them every week. We take the time, give them the right feed, the proper housing. Any of the lofts, maybe you have a bit of dry litter, but is your loft bone dry? It is. These bugs, they grow in moisture. And, here's another, and we'll get to another photo, another thing to talk about. Another type of a fly or of a mite. I never heard of this. Scaly leg mites. Okay, these are mites on the feet of the pigeon. Now, when it starts off, this is how it'll look. You see the little scales?
Yeah.
There's scales on these feet. That's when it first starts off. Now, these mites, they live off of the protein of the blood of the bird. They eat right along the feet. And this is how it looks when it's well developed. Oh. Now, you may think that's pox, but that's not. Those are scaly mites. And you'll hear the birds in the loft tap dancing. They're uncomfortable. You want to know how your loft is at night? Go into your loft. You shouldn't hear no tap dancing. The feet on the wood, tap, tap, tap. You don't want to hear that. But again, these scaly mites, another way you get rid of it is, this is what they say. These are the products. These are the main ingredient products to get rid of lice, mites. And again, people use this.
You used to be able to go get those strips, Vapona strips.
We can't get them anymore.
We don't have them now. But
no.
You just put that, it's a little strip that goes in your loft, and bang, but we don't have that now.
Well, I know. I was at Verstrada's. I don't know if it's on the loft tour. I think you were at his house. He had the little mite traps on the wood of his loft, and he'd show the mites that he could catch. Because you can have mites in your loft that aren't on the birds. They eat within the loft. Mm-hmm. They don't come to the birds. That's what I also read in the book. But scaly mites, they eat on the legs, the protein of the bird. The whatever's in there, That's what they're eating. So if you guys ever see that, you never seen that, have you?
No, I haven't.
I never seen it. Another thing we want to
touch wood on a wooden table.
We're on a wooden table.
There we go. We always touch wood when we're on this show. Okay.
Next one up, pigeon flies.
Oh, I've seen that.
Here these little bastards are. Take a look at that.
You see them on the back of the bird, the shoulder. I've seen them before on my own birds.
That's right. Now,
Yeah.
this normally comes in the warmer months. It comes when there's moisture. Okay. These like to live in the nests,
Those
around the nests.
Darn things. Oh,
They're hard to get off. And
they're just wicked.
how do you know if you have them? What are some signs? They eat the blood. They eat the feathers. That's what the holes look like. Those holes on the feathers, those are from pigeon flies. So just to show you on a wing, you open up a bird's wing and it's got all of that.
Little holes.
Holes. Pigeon flies. Now again, I didn't write this book. This is what I seen. This is what I'm showing you. Have I seen that on pigeons before? I have. So have I seen the mites? Yes. Have I seen the lice? Yes. I haven't seen the mites on the feet, but I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna say that they do exist. So there's a few little things. Good health in pigeons, keeping your pigeons clean. It is what it is. Alfred says, wonderful. This always look forward to watching your show while driving. It makes the night less long. Well, Alfred, thanks for tuning in. And guys, Alfred, I don't know if you tuned in. I will show it here again. Here's his, I'm just going to pop this up. Here's his little loft. He's, again.
Look at how nice he made it. He's got the tiles on the roof. Like really nice.
A pigeon man's look. He's got a nice loft already. He's flying, but he's still looking. He's sick in the head. He's got another little loft.
Hey, always remember, folks, if you've had pigeons 40 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, your pigeon loft has never finished. You're always adding, changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's great. I mean, look at he's an Olympiad ace pigeon. He's won a national, and here he goes. He's got a nice little loft. He's still having fun.
I'll give an example how it is too. My wife said we need new kitchen cupboards. I said, wait, I got to put a new section in my pigeon loft with a nice fly pen and all that. We got to wait till that's done first, right?
Always great.
Yeah.
Hold on. So let's see here. Oh, Hoosier, you can use oil, mist. Insects can be sulficated. Okay. Hoosiers outdoors. I think that's Jim Ward. I got a feeling that's Jimmy Ward. Hey, Jim, how are you? Let's see here. Next comment up. Nelson Paint and Remodeling. Try our new tractor supply. 2 shots of respiratory. 2 shots. The respiratory issue will clear up in a few days. Okay, so he says it's called TR200. This is what's great about the show. Now, guys.
So where do we get this from?
I'm going to say.
Like, where is this fella from?
He's probably in the States. So, Canadians, the only way you're going to get this is by ordering it from the U.S. But it's called T200 from Tractor Supply. 2 shots. The respiratory issue will clear.
Okay, so
2 shots. Now, what's 2 shots? Is it a vaccine? Is it a spray in the air? That's a question. But hey, I like your answer on that.
Who's this talking about this though? Like Nelson Paint, right?
Paint and Remodeling. That's his YouTube name. Like that's his name.
Is he a pigeon flyer?
Well, sure he is. He's telling you.
Okay.
T200 from Tractor Supply. 2 shots. A respiratory issue will clear up. He's not talking about painting and remodeling. He's talking that's his name. That's the name he was under.
We'll take a quart of it, a gallon. Bring it over.
Yeah, we'll take some. Send it to us. Let's try it out. They are like ticks. Yeah, I guess they kind of are, Tracy. Those
ticks. Yeah.
Those Scaly mites are like a tick. Yeah. You get them on flies on cattle. Yes, that's right. And again, they say even, I looked, if you take your pigeon droppings, if you're cleaning your loft out and you dump them always in the same spot, let's say you make a pile of pigeon droppings.
Yeah.
It's constant wet. And that breeds pigeon flies. Not good. Not good. Good morning from South Africa. Oh boy. Good morning from South Africa, Cape Town. Good morning. Alfred, okay. Agreed, yes. The little loft on the prairie. That's what Tracy said about Alfred's loft. Yeah, it is a little loft on the prairie.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Very nice.
100% true. Loft, no loft is finished. So Dave says again, Dave Conover, 100% with your statement, lofts are never done. Because Pigeon Man, there's no such thing as the perfect loft. As soon as you've done the perfect loft, you know what you'll say after about 1 week of completely using it? I screwed this completely up. Or this isn't what I like.
No. We had the year before last, Wally Billick in our one loft race. He won $6,500. He's 85 years old. I said, Wally, what are you going to do with your money? And he goes, well, I think I'm going to get some wire and I'm going to build myself a real nice fly pen, and it's going to be like this and going to be like that. And that's what keeps us pigeon guys going.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah. It's always
remodeling,
renovation.
Yes,
never ever
tear down,
perfect.
Complain, something. Oren here says, what can you do for hawk attacks? And the next thing is, same bird got attacked twice. Sometimes
wow.
I think the hawk sometimes know what they're hunting. I think a hawk can tell if a bird's injured. I think a hawk can tell. I really do think that.
Or maybe that's a good, strong bird. I had a bird got hit 3 times. And I called him the Red Baron.
Oh, yeah.
The hawk.
But
I seen him.
He had him many years.
It was a small
white cock.
No, but the cock. Yeah, it was a cock bird. But
the Red Baron.
The hawk. Yeah, Red Baron. I call him. The hawk was the smaller hawk.
Yeah. The one that doesn't carry him away. Just eats him on the ground.
He got hit 3 times.
And we had him for many years.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he stopped getting hit.
I could not believe it.
The Red Baron struck again.
Then I hit the bird at the end.
You hit him.
I gave him a little twist.
You gave him a fix at the end. What's the best way? You know what? You're never going to stop the hawks. You can put traps out. You'll catch as many hawks as you want. Once you take a hawk out of his area, a new hawk moves in.
Yeah, he moves in. Now, there's got to be guys in Florida, guys in Belgium. You talked to Serge this year on his old bird race team. 22. He said he lost already 22 birds to hawks.
Yeah.
And this man is he's a good, excellent, top-notch flyer, trying to compete, but he's afraid to let the birds out. The darn hawks.
So David Tracy and Nelson's Paint and Remodeling. Guys, if you're in the Ohio area, Nelson's Paint and Remodeling, give them a call. You use the code word Pioneer and you're gonna get 50% off your whole painting and remodeling of your house. Sorry about that.
By the way, if they're in Ohio, I have a rowboat. I will start going across this Lake Ontario. Mm-hmm. I'll meet you on the other side. Have to be kind of in a dark spot. Right. I'll take 2 gallons and I'll row back.
Okay. Well, the TR200 is a vaccine.
Oh, is it?
Now I want to ask you: is this vaccine? Is it a dark liquid, dark color, and does it smell? Does it smell fishy? That's my question. And that's a serious question.
Oh, we want to know if it's good for cleaning. Is it good for cleaning brakes?
No,
brake cleaners.
Joseph says he's from the States. Thank you, Joseph. If you paint the bread bins with white lime, you can also see better whether they have. What is this? Let's see what he's writing here. If you paint
the bread bins,
the bread bins with white lime, you can also see better. You can see better
whether they have. Sorry,
Alfred. It's the end. I'm getting it. Something about paint.
This is Alfred saying this. Alfred, I think you're getting tired driving. Take a break.
Take a break. Oren here says, can you tape the hawk?
Tape the hawk.
Tape the hawk. So, trap. No, sorry, trap.
Sorry,
trap. My eyes are bad. Can you trap a hawk? You can trap hawks. you can trap hawks all you want, but once you take a hawk out of an area, a new hawk moves in. Because there's no real rules on killing hawks, because we're not allowed to. Everyone gets a fine. So they're getting so overpopulated, but hawks are territorial. So as soon as you take a hawk out, a new one moves in.
I think you're better off to have a hawk. I mean, better off to don't have a hawk. But if you're gonna have a hawk, better than a falcon.
Now,
I know what's his name, Sal, in London. He has falcons, and he said it's terrible.
Oh,
falcon, you can't handle that thing. Because no.
Well, a falcon's different.
Falcon won't come into a trap like a hawk will.
Well, no, because they hunt differently.
They hunt different. Right. If you got falcons, you're in big trouble. Oh, thank God.
This guy's only got a problem with hawks. So Nelson's Paint and Remodeling. Again, the promo code's Pioneer. You guys get 50% off all of your paint and remodeling needs. Call Nelson. He's going to help you out. But he says, I harass the hawk with my drone. It's like the crows harassing them. So he's using a drone. Again, I've got a drone. I don't want to try it because every time I seem to fly my drone,
he's
the birds hit
drone crash guy.
Shut up, Rick.
But let me say something. The hawks that we have, I don't know what they're called, Coopers or whatever, or Sharpshins or whatever they call them. Like, everything's really good. Really good. All of a sudden, bang, he's in. So you don't even know when he's coming. Like, how do you do it? You put your drone up and let your drone run for an hour?
So I think, your drone only runs for about 25 minutes at a time.
Right.
Unless you got super battery drones. Okay. But anyways, so Alfred says he paints stuff white so he can see the bugs. And I do think lime will help deter. Again, I don't know what's in it.
He didn't say lime. You said lime.
He said lime. He paints with a lime. Yes, I can go back and rewrite it. So look. If you paint the bread bins, white lime.
If you paint the bread bins,
white lime. He said it. I'm not reading it backwards.
What's he talking about? What are bread bins?
Feed bins. Whatever.
Oh yeah.
The Loft.
That's his.
Yeah. Terminology. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of shit likes to live online. It doesn't.
So you paint your feed bins with lime?
Yeah, I think.
I believe lime anyways. Just paint your walls, paint your nest boxes.
Whatever you want.
Before you do it, paint it. Put some lime on the floor. Yeah, that helps keep those darn things away.
Okay, so Samir here says, the best for me is to spray and use U200. Oh, this is a hard word. Talosian drops all on the pigeons, including the stock pigeons, parasite-free for 12 months. Guys, there's another product. You see? This is why this show is good. You got another solution now. You've got a respiratory, something you can fix. You've got something for lice that you can fix. We're showing you lice, mites, flies. And guys, pretty much if you're controlling the lice and the mites, you're not going to really have problems with the flies or the mites on the legs. You're not going to have that problem. Don Meredith says, northern goshawks are deadly. There he goes.
Yeah.
Alfred says, now here to drive 500 miles for chickens, have to buy KFC. So Alfred's going to have some KFC while he's driving. Remember, when you're eating KFC, get yourself a couple extra rolls of toilet paper. You're going to find it's going to help you out. Michael Peebler says, put on some crow
decoys.
Decoys. Oh, and another thing in owl noises. Yeah, I thanks Michael Peebler for that one. Anna Gauthier in Belgium, she has an owl call. It's a tape of owls calling that she plays when the young birds start going out for the first month or two. She plays it all the time. I was at her house and I couldn't figure out what was going on, but this is what it was. Well, and it was loud.
I'll tell you one thing. Right here in our area, just lately, we have a pair of they're not crows. What are they? Those
ravens.
Ravens. I have a pair of ravens hanging around. And I'm sure, I mean, I've had the birds out every day for a couple of weeks. I've had not one bit of trouble. And I think the ravens, when the ravens fly, they're different than a crow. They kind of fly like a hawk. They're like pairs together and make a screeching sound. And I think that keeps them away. I mean, thank God I got them. But although the ravens are very deadly for youngsters. If you put a youngster out on the board and he's 5 weeks old or something, you know, he's just starting to play a little bit, the raven will come down.
You get in trouble. You can. But
touch wood, I've had no
that.
trouble. I've seen that pair flying around here.
This is our first time really seeing them here.
You've seen them.
Yeah, we've seen them the other day. We were talking about it. My man from somewhere out in the Middle East says, hello, everyone. Are you all right? Yes, we're doing good. Thank you. Jay-Z says, get crows to be your friend. They will keep them away. I think that does help. Sure. Alfred says, yes, that's right. Paint them. You'll see the bugs. Hoosier Outdoors says, I do wildlife. What is this word with an N? Shit.
$64 word.
I can't read this word. Nuisance? I do wildlife.
Hey, we both
nuisance.
have. Do you have grade 3?
I don't know.
I had grade 3. I did it 3
times.
times.
If you do grade 3 3 times, you went to grade 9.
Did you even do it once?
I did. I got through that once. I did.
Okay.
All birds see 3D. If you use a laser pointer, it will scare off all birds. It looks like a rod coming at them.
Now, this is what we were talking about.
For the ground.
You could use that laser pointer around your loft. I seen it at a man's place. He had it at nighttime, and I thought, kind of a neat thing. It just hits the loft, a little red light. And I said, well, is that like for people trying to steal your birds or like a surveillance thing? He said, oh, no. That's to keep the coyotes away, foxes away, raccoons away, skunks away, all those animals, keeps them away.
So maybe
now, can you use this thing in the daytime? How do you work? How does that work?
He says you can. He says you use the laser pointer. But again, you've got to have that on you. I mean,
no. Maybe you can have it set up.
I don't know. So but will it screw up your pigeons? I don't know. Well, I mean, if it works on a bird of prey, it won't work. Okay, but that's interesting. Another way of thinking of it. Mike Green, he's a truck driver. He says only 300 miles to drive, and he's having Wendy's. Now, guys, put in your favorite long drive pit stop food. Alfred's going to go to KFC and get his squirts on, and Mike Green's going to do the same thing at Wendy's. So both of these guys are driving, and they're eating.
He drives chickens, and he's going to have KFC for lunch.
He almost has it every day. Okay, what else? I think Don Meredith says, I think the hawks, oil screeching. So he thinks so. I think oil screeching, owls.
He's talking about the owl.
Oil screeching. I think that the hawk, owl screeching. Okay. Thanks. I love the owl call idea. Yeah, and we did a video. If you go on our YouTube channel, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, look up Anik Gochan, and the loft is G Pigeons. I do a loft tour with her, and she plays the owl calling. And she has it on a loop, and it's different calls. It just loops itself over.
Different owl calls?
Owl calls, like different. Glove?
Yeah. Thank you.
And check that one out. CD with sounds of owls, how large owls of the world, birds of prey. So Alfred's heard about this too. Alfred's saying, yeah, go for it. You know what's good? If you have that and you put it on your radio outside, a nice sound, medium, not too loud, but loud enough, your neighbors will never know. Okay? Your neighbors are not going to get annoyed by it. Mike Green, we have a little sparrowhawk pair. It keeps the bigger hawks away. I've heard that as well, because the sparrowhawk takes over that territory.
I tried exactly what Mike Green said. I read about it. Guy had great success, so I tried it. I put 4 boxes up, I made it especially for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hoping, within a half an acre of my yard, put it up over there, over there, over there, over there. I had squirrels and starlings came into it.
That was a fun one. Remember we made those boxes and we thought we were going to take on the world? We were going to get sparrowhawks in our area.
That's like your pigeon product or project
of the winter.
Of the winter. I'm going to put this up.
Okay.
But they fooled me.
So my buddy from the Middle East says, I suffer from a problem with the birds during the competitive season. Some problems with respiratory and mucus. Now, again, I can't see your loft. Is your loft overcrowded? Does your loft have enough ventilation? Ventilation is key. Good airflow in the loft. Not draft, but good airflow. Is your loft overcrowded? And then, again, what products are you using?
The other thing, the loft has to be dry.
Well, dry.
So in other words, if let's say you have a drinker, your drinker's here on the floor, but if everything's wet on the floor around it, now you're going to have a problem. It's going to create, and especially probably where you are, there's a lot of heat, and the heat, what do you call it? Creates, you get respiratory.
Right, and that's the whole thing. Some people, like my friend here, I can't pronounce his name because I can't read that writing. So my Middle East friend. Sometimes we can't see. You have to send pictures. So you take a look and see what the problem is. I have some people do that. We try and help out. But overcrowding, a wet loft.
I always have my drinker, for example, I have it up on a milk crate.
Yeah.
We call it a milk crate. It's a plastic crate, which it's got all little holes, holes through it. So the birds go up on it. And, the drinker.
And number one, not only is it off the ground, let's say a foot, the drinker stays cleaner. If any water is spilt, it goes underneath, the air gets to it, and it dries. So those are bonuses. My buddy Oren says this, laser pointers would be an issue near.
It's not Oren, it's Urin.
Urin, however you want to pronounce. I can't pronounce every name.
Right.
Laser pointers would be an issue.
Aaron?
Yeah,
Aaron.
That's a new way.
Yeah.
Aaron, Oren.
Laser pointers would be
a problem in his area because he's near an airport. Okay. Again, guys, when people give ideas, they're only given options, and that's good. You got to see what works in your area. Michael Peevler used to use a beacon like John Gladwin. John Gladwin used a beacon light. I think that's what he used. I don't know if that worked for hawks.
Some people use, those glass domes, whatever you call them, glass balls.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what he had on there. Glass balls, I think.
Yeah, glass. They're like a glass ball.
A dome.
Dome. Yeah. So if the hawk comes in, he actually sees himself in the ball, glass ball, and it screws him up.
I think if I did that and I had a hawk that was hitting the loft, I'd have those balls on my loft. I'd almost have one on the landing board. I know that might sound stupid, but if I had one really coming at the loft bad, I might try that.
Oh, I see. And the birds would get used to it.
The birds get used to it. You have your aviary, have it almost one right in the center of the landing board. So, because once he gets past the roof, he don't see himself no more. Once he's down so far. Anyways.
So that's what we're going to work on this year. All of us.
Okay.
We're going to forget the new nest boxes, the new fly pen. We're all going to get these balls.
Glass balls. And when your neighbors ask you, you just say, Christmas is coming early. Silver balls. Here we go. Mike Vanderyak. I found a good system to protect birds from hawks after 4 years down this way in hawk country. Mike, that doesn't answer anything.
No, he's found a good way. Okay.
Well, he's got to elaborate on that, or maybe he wants to keep that all for himself. Sherry Tracy says she's on her way to White Castle. She's going to get a nice burger at White Castle. Good job. Oh boy!
When my birds are out, I could have them out, and then I listen for the blue jays or the crows, you know, they tell me there's trouble. And then what I do for my birds, honest to God, I make a call to them, like a hawk's call.
Hold on.
I go,
look at this.
I go like this.
Look at.
You want to hear it?
Oh, go ahead.
I go. Soon I do that, my birds know.
Hey,
there's trouble.
It was funny.
There's trouble.
Okay, this is funny you said this.
Soon I do that.
I was on the internet looking at YouTube or Facebook.
Right.
A guy from the Philippines. Honestly, he's doing his best. He had a pigeon come home from a race. Boom, bang, the bird hits the board. He makes his call. The call is pigeons. Do you know what sound he made?
No.
That sound you made. Do you know what? For that second, I could see it in the bird. He went, that sound just don't sound right to me. I hear people's calls for birds, and they got that high-pitched shit, that sound like this, or those whistles. I just don't know if it's good. Now, I want to get back to this.
I do that call, and I don't do a call. I just, but maybe I see a hawk, or I hear the blue jays, or I hear the crow cause, caw, caw, or whatever, the blue jay goes, I go, just like that. My birds, boom, right away.
And you have to train them to do that, and they get used to it. But yeah, I seen this guy's bird land, but he made that call, and I could see the bird was almost thinking, is this a hawk? What is this sound? I'm a bit tired. My brain's a bit tired. Not a good sound for trapping birds.
I think, I don't know. I think maybe he taught his birds to be.
I seen it in the bird. The sound didn't sound right. That's not any sound, but a sound of a hawk, I think is better. Okay. Alfred says the eagle owl. So there's a bird called the eagle owl. Boo-boo or boo-hoo, boo-hoo is one of the largest owls in the world. And it's believed to be the second largest owl species after the Blakiston fish owl. The specific name of this species was published, okay, blah, 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 okay? The birds get named from its call. So basically, this owl imposes the eagle owl. It's got a real good call. You guys might want to check that out and listen to how that owl sounds. I flew my birds all winter and didn't lose a bird, Mike says. Mike, that still doesn't tell us, what did you do? What was your trick, Mike?
All winter.
What did he say? He flew my birds all winter and didn't lose any. So right now, Mike Vanderjak's got perfect condition on his old birds.
He must have good condition. He must have cracked the whip to get them out. And soon soon he seen them coming down. He gave the shake the can, boom.
I don't know. Let's see what he says. Now, Tracy says, long haul, I'm packing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. My favorite sandwich. So Tracy's not going to stop at any of these fast food places. She's going with peanut butter and jelly. I don't think you can go wrong there.
Okay, so if you're on the long haul, if you want to stay awake, I heard, get the large 1 liter or whatever it is, container of Coca-Cola, and drink it warm.
We got lots of comments.
Pretty warm. On the road,
drink Coca-Cola warm. It'll help you out.
Keep you going.
All right. So Don Meredith says, we're getting comments, so we're going to keep her going. An hour and 14 minutes. They're participating. I had sparrowhawks take 2 of my birds last week, Don Meredith. So Don Meredith is saying that even sparrowhawks, now remember, he's farther north. Less to eat. They could get hungrier. They could go for the pigeons. So I'm going to say, hey, even sparrowhawks will get pigeons. Dave Conover says, I use owls, geese mirrors, and red flashing lights. All the tricks. They help out, but not 100%. Might try a drone. Hawks and falcons attack are getting unreal. So you can see Dave's been pestered by these things a lot. He's used owls, geeses. He's used all the sounds, everything. And it's still not 100%. And I don't think you're going to get 100%. I don't think.
I think the key thing is when you let them out, But then if you have youngsters and, you're trying to get them playing around off the board, you know how they do the little mosquito thing and all that stuff. And then you got a hawk around. He scares them so bad, they just take off.
So we're just going to do this. Hello? 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 Can you hear us? No sound. So why is there no sound? Huh. Shit. She crapped out. Something crapped out. I'm not sure. 1 second. Hear you now. Okay, so you can hear us now. Make sure you can hear me now. Yeah, all better. Okay, you're back. After about 10 minutes on mute. Ooh. No one told me. I was on mute talking for 10 minutes. Ooh, you know what's good though? We had no sound and now we got people telling us. Okay. What was the last thing you guys heard? You're on mute. Something happened there with the sound. I can't figure out what it was. Nelson Painting and Remodeling says, I have 30 young birds out so far this year. Out 3 hours. Haven't lost one yet. I'm 3 miles away from... Never lost a single bird. Okay. That's good. No sound. We know. Can't hear you. Ooh. It's nice to see you people. Hey, Mike, 20 gauge works. Yes. We hear you now. Okay, Mike Sheridan, we hear you now. Better. Okay. Yes. You're back. Sound back. Yes. Okay. All good. Sorry about that, guys. We didn't mean for that to happen. Sometimes a mic will die, and that's just how it goes. This show is going good tonight. You guys are really participating. We're talking about owls. Any way you look at it, you're not going to stop a hawk. You can try as many things as you want. I think what Mike said was good. Get them in, get them out. You're not going to stop them. I do want to mention again this week, guys, for our Americans. For the Pioneer One Loft race, I'll pulse this up here now. Please read it. U.S. breeders, this is for the U.S. breeders. Ship the birds this coming Monday. That's April 24th. So you can ship them on the 24th or the 25th to our U.S. address. Put them in my name right there on the bottom. Okay, the address. Please make this proper. P.O. Box 313. Then 3909 Whitmer Road, Niagara Falls, New York. There's the zip code. Put my phone number. And please, for the love of White Castle, Wendy's, and KFC, please send me the tracking number and let me know how many birds you sent. Because it's important. I've had people send me 5 birds. They put 4 birds in one box and they send 1 bird in one box and they don't tell me. And I think, oops, that's the only bird they sent. And if I leave, I got to go all the way back. So let me know what you're sending. Please, and thank you.
Now, I think Nelson said he's been flying young birds, I don't know how long this year. He's had no trouble.
No trouble.
My question is, like, what's his terrain? Is he in the middle of a field somewhere where it's wide open, bushes around him? That makes a difference. You know what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well, this is what he wrote. I have 30 young birds out so far this year.
Right.
They've set out for hours and haven't lost one. My dad is 3 air miles away.
Right.
Does not use any techniques, has lost several young and old birds this year. Now, I'm going to say something.
Now, he might be in an open area, high up, no bush around, no, where hawks can come in and.
Maybe that's it. What are you doing now? I believe we have it on our site. I can email you an entry sheet. Again, you can always write it out on a piece of paper. Put the band number down and the name of the bird if you want us, or you want to name them. If you want us to name them, we name the birds. Pretty simple. Again, we're not going to the moon on this, but that's a good question, David. No problems. I am trying a new method. Dave Conover says, I'm trying a new method with young birds this year. Netting in 50 by hen, birds out 3 days and hawks around, but no hits. Testing this new idea. OLR, guys, do this. Not sure how this will turn out. I think it's going to turn out pretty good. You're going to break your birds, and I don't. You're going to break them to the loft, nice and easy. By leaving them out, they get used to the hawk times. I think that's good. But the only thing is, when you take those nets off and you let those birds out, they're going to be strong. They're going to be buoyant and light because you got a nice size, a 50 by 100 netted area. The pigeons will become in great shape. What I call it is, this might sound silly, they got great power with no brakes. They're not fat and heavy because when you have them out in that 50 by 100 big fly pen, they burn off all the fat. Fly to one end, fly back. Fly to one end, fly back. They're constantly burning the baby fat off. When you take the netting off, if a hawk comes through and they haven't been up, now when they go up with full power.
They're gone.
And they got no brakes. They don't, and it's not their fault. It's basically you've protected them, but you've given a new hawk their brain to stop and slow down. So I think it's a good idea. I know the one loft races do it. Lots of people do different things. Good luck. Let us know how it works, Dave. One thing about Dave, he's trying different things, and that's another great thing about having pigeons. You can try all these things. You know, put up a big aviary, put up a small aviary, put balls up, disco balls, CDs, whatever you're thinking.
The people, for example, in Florida, where is it down there?
Spring Hill.
Yeah, Spring Hill. They have hawks big time year round, like real hawks,
right?
Not just one hawk kicking around here. They've got like lots. How do they do it? I think what they do is if they raise 100 youngsters, they know I'm going to lose. It's part of that game. Maybe I'm going to lose 30% to hawks. And they kind of accept it. They work with it, try and get the birds in when it's time, when the birds are coming down, they get them in, bang. They know I'm going to lose 30% to hawks. They know it. So they raise enough youngsters so they know it. It's like they don't only raise 30 or 40 youngsters, because if you do that, they're going to get cleaned out.
Yeah.
Is that how they do it? I don't know.
I still think you're just, you know what the secret with those young pigeons are? They have to get up and get up, learn a little bit, come down. If they know how to land on the house roof, go back to the board, they go up a few times and they don't get hit, you're good. You're fine.
By that, yeah, I know.
But it's the first week to 10 days you let them out. That's the time where you need and sometimes I think maybe I say to Dave, okay, Dave, you've got the birds out. Let's say Dave's letting those birds out from 6 in the morning until noon. He brings them in. Mm-hmm. He does it every day. I say this to Dave, okay, let's do this when you go to let them out. Let them out at 5 o'clock in the evening. Why? The hawk doesn't see no birds in the netting all day, forgets the birds. It's a different time. You take the hawk off the time.
Yeah, I know.
I just think this. I'm just thinking this. This is my thought. Anyways, lots of ideas. Aaron says, how would you treat an open wound under the arm of a bird that's attacked? You know what I would do? I'd just leave it. I've never been one of these people to sew up pigeons. We've had pigeons come home, they've gashed their chest open, the water's pouring out of them. I think you just leave them, and they heal quick. And I think it's the heat of a pigeon, eh?
Yeah.
The pigeon produces good body heat.
I've had birds where the crop is open, and they eat and they drink, and the water runs out. And I've I just leave them alone. All of a sudden, it heals. They heal quick.
So Dave says, great show tonight. Keep sharing ideas. We all learn every day. And that's what it's about. It's about learning. And guys, we're not perfect pigeon men. We're still learning. You know, I go to all these lofts all over the world, and I'm always learning, and I learn interesting things. And guys, I learn from you guys things, and that's what makes us good. That's why it's an open platform. We try and keep it open. Nelson's Paint and Remodeling. Again, guys, you use the word pioneer. You're going to get 50% off any of your remodeling and painting that you need done in your house or in your loft. Nelson's is going to take off 50% of the job. So you're going to save money. And he travels all throughout the United States. He's not just in Ohio. I use small Averys, 10 by 6. So he uses small Averys, 10 by 6 off the landing board. It sets on my hay wagon. It protects the young birds, lets them get some strength, but not too much.
And they learn.
So he uses, I guess he has the Avery on a wagon. Okay, that's good. Good idea.
And what it is I believe what he's talking about, that it gets the young birds acquainted to the hawk problems. They learn just a bit there, so they know what's going on. They know how to, they come out, they look, the hawk scares them, probably got a chute open, they can come in, so they know there's trouble, right, where the chute is.
Okay. Mike Vander, okay, wait. As Dave says, as they say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. That's why we do this show. Mike Vandriak, he comes off the top rope and says, strategizing the times of release does not work. Hawks can see their whole territory at the same time. And I believe that as well. If they are territorial, then they won't be very far. And you know what? You can go look through a row of trees. You won't see the hawk in the tree, but he'll see you. How many times have we been in the backyard and in the maple tree, right in our backyard, the hawk was sitting in it. We let the birds out, and then you see we walk right by him. So, Mike, thanks for correcting me on that one. Michael Peebler says, most hawk attacks happen in the mornings because they are looking for breakfast. Train in the evening, yeah. I have found, though,
I also
hawks
found in the evening,
late,
just before dark.
Late.
Well, if you happen to have birds out, watch out. If you're, you're home from work, it's a little bit late, you say, oh, I'm going to let them go for a little fly. It's like, 45 minutes before dark, all of a sudden, bang.
Okay, so what is Alfred saying on this one, guys? Let's try this one out. We lubricate cleaners with Voltaire, which is a remedy for muscle pain and stiff joints in humans. When the birds of prey eat it, they go to heaven. That's what we see with the meal dennies. They have birds
that have a bird injected with this
with this cleaner stuff. Yeah, a meal. We've seen a meal with that. My Cooper Hawk, Mike says, my Cooper Hawks come at any time, and as soon as you let the birds out, they will be there. So Mike, again, is right on point with this, which is great. Nice to see, Mike. This show's going really good tonight. You guys are really hanging in. Even without the sound, you guys stuck with it. My attacks were both at about 6:30 p.m. Aaron says he's been attacked this year at 6:30 in the p.m. What did we say? Just before dark.
You know what the hawk does? He nails them.
Mm-hmm.
He kills them. He quarter eats them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you leave the bird right there, go there in the morning, just at daylight.
He'll be eating them again.
He'll be there at daylight to clean them up. Yeah.
Okay. Do you plan to train late in the day? I have done that too. It works. Yes. I personally would train in pigeons. We like to train from about 12 o'clock onwards in the day. I like the heat of the day. The more heat, the better. And then as we get into the season, we like to train later and later and later, right down to where it's almost dark. That's what we like. everyone is different. For the guys that like the morning, well, you guys like mornings. I prefer midday to afternoon, mid-afternoon, late afternoon, just about dark. That's what I like for training. Because one thing I do like about training pigeons, I like to use early in the morning for a good loft fly. I find the pigeons loft fly the very best, my thoughts. And I like to use the training midday after, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock for the summer heat. And when the birds come in from a loft fly, we like to get them basketed on the short tosses. Let them sit out in the basket 3, 4, 5 hours in the nice heat, build up to come home. That's what I think. Do you guys fly old birds in your local club? No club for us here. We don't fly. We have a large combine. They will not allow us to participate. That's what we can say about that. And if you guys want to know the great combine, it's the Up North Racing Pigeon Combine. The president is Bruce Maters. You can contact him. Great guy to drink beer with. But hey,
He likes to drink your beer.
he likes to drink your beer. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Moving on. Yeah. So tonight we talked about lice. We talked about mites. And for guys that say it doesn't matter, if you're trying to get a top level, you don't want to have these little bugs on your birds, because if the number one thing it only did, if it didn't ruin the feathers, if it didn't drink the blood, what it does is it crawls on them and it doesn't allow them to rest properly. And you know what? Without proper rest, you will never get a good result. But it does a lot of other things as well to harm them. It takes the bloom off the feathers. It eats holes in the feathers. It drinks the blood and eats the proteins out of the pigeon. And you will never achieve the form that you're looking for. Reminder, guys, I'm going to say this again and again. You want this race to be great. It is already great. For the people that have participated in the Pioneer, the first season, the second season, the third season, and now the fourth season, thank you. And the new people, thank you. This race is great. It's lots of fun. It is one straight race. What does that mean? You are not going to get 4 races where you're going to get 1,700 meters, 1,800 meters, 1,800 meters, 1,900 meters, and pay out $100,000 goddamn dollars. I love the money. I'm just saying, pigeon racing is getting so soft, it's almost not fun no more. We're going to have to all get speed pigeons here soon. Let's see. Remember, Americans, this is your week to send. There's going to be one more week. It's not going to be May the 8th. It's going to be a little later in May because we're only going to do one more pickup in the U.S. So I just want to let you guys know. And again, there is the information. Please let me know before you send your birds. And if by chance you can't send them on this group, you don't have to worry. You're going to have one more shot at it. What feed are you using this year? You're going to have to wait and see. We're going to use the feed that gives them the gas, the feather quality, and the horsepower to do it. Are we going to use name brand? We're going to use the feed that works. That's what we're going to use.
The same feed. Anyone comes here to our auctions on the weekends to handle the birds, they all say, wow. Excellent.
That's right.
Feather, excellent. Droppings, come and check the droppings. Excellent.
Bag feeds, the good feeds, it's great. It is great. Here where we are, we can't get what I would feed. We can't get it, and I'm not going to pay $55, $60 a bag of feed to buy it full of bugs from Versalaga. I'm not doing it. I sold that feed, and they had such bug problems, they wouldn't back their product up. Versalaga out of Belgium. So, no other feed I like. I'm not feeding Baden feed. I'm not feeding money. I will make up our own feeds. There's no problem. I know what we need for feed. I know the ingredients of basically what we need. And there's a lot of feeds out there. They got a lot of different seeds. Don't do it. Again, I look at a bodybuilder like Jay Cutler. Go look him up. He's a Mr. Olympiad bodybuilder. Look at the man's diet. He said, I only ate for fuel. I ate only a few certain things, and that's all I ate. And I believe with pigeons, you need the certain fuels. You need your safflowers, you need a bit of your oily seeds, you need your carbohydrates, and a little bit of protein. You know what? I don't know if I need 55 different things in a bag. Well, I might need 5 things. And you know what? Those 5 things, I might feed them separately.
When you and I went to visit Emil Denny's,
yeah,
and you were there, and we sat in the room and we discussed. Emil was born in pigeons. We were talking about feed, and he said a lot of these feeds that they manufacture, these mixed feeds, buy a bag of whatever. A lot of it, I'm sorry, a lot of it is out the rear end. It looks good.
It looks good. Got all the colors. Got everything nice.
Got all those colors, but it's just. So if you want to come down here and handle birds and tell me, oh, this pigeon's silky, feels good in the body, everything's good. Oh, look at the droppings. The droppings are perfect. That's my secret, okay? So that's my secret.
And we have you guys once we start the show, which we're going to start up this week.
Yeah.
One of these days we're going to start our show. You're going to start to see what we feed, and remember, like Dave said, there are many ways to skin a cat. There are many ways to be a champion. There are many ways or many roads to Rome. And that's what it comes down to. And that's why we do this show. So we show you people other ways, and people put in their opinions and what they think, and you take it for what it is and you learn.
If you're sending birds to our one loft, please tell us that I only feed pellets. I only feed McDonald's French fries. Tell us that, because we get them in and we feed them whatever our grain is. We're going, holy jumping! These things don't want to eat. They can't eat. They can't eat.
We had our friend Ken Lavoie, nice guy.
Yeah.
You know what? He feeds his pigeons 100% turkey grower or pigeon pellet, whatever pellet it was.
Yeah.
And I remember his birds came here, and you could see them trying. And I watched them eat. And I said, boy, they come down to eat. They go like this in the feeder, but they're not eating. They're not eating. They're not eating. They're not eating. What the hell is going on? What's going on? What's going on? And I talked to Ken, and you know what Ken said to me? It wasn't his fault. Or just, I feed my birds only pellets. The birds didn't have it in them to eat the grains. So then we have to retrain this little group of birds to eat, mix pellets in with grain. And I'll tell you, the birds have a very hard time switching over. Well, do we use a percentage of pellets in our feed? Yes. But if you use 2% of pellets in the feed and you got 10 birds that only eat pellets, you sure as hell ain't feeding enough pellet, are you?
Yeah.
They're going to starve.
I'll give you an example. We got birds coming in. I guess the people, they only feed out of feeders. Okay, the birds coming in, I don't feed out of a feeder. Feed on the floor. These birds would not eat off the floor. I could not figure out. I put the feed there. You're not eating. What's going on? I had to put a feeder in, like one of those feeders with the slots. I put a feeder in. Oh,
like
they
little
go right
pigs.
away in the feeder. They couldn't figure out how to eat off the floor.
And this is, again, what I say to people. Prepare your birds for every situation.
Yeah.
Teach them to eat on the floor. Teach them to eat out of a grit pot. Move the feed this way. Move the feed that way. Put the drinker up. Put the drinker down. Take the drinker, that's a clear drinker. Get rid of that. Get a Javex jug. Cut a hole out of it. Wash it out. Use that as a drinker. They go, what the hell's this? It gets the mind. Wake up. When you wake the mind up, you teach them to start learning. But again, I'm not telling you what to do. This is how you learn. And you learn by taking your time and looking at these problems. David Tracy says, I feed mine corn, pellets. I feed mine corn, pellets, dog food, peanuts, racer mix, so they eat about anything. Also throw my feed on the floor. And we're not saying you have to feed on the floor. You can feed in feeders. You can feed however you want. But if you're sending to one loft races, what we do in our race, what the Hoosier does in theirs, what the California Classic does in theirs, what the Pattaya does in theirs, every loft is different.
So what I'm saying is, one loft may only feed in feeders. So the next loft may feed on the floor. So you've got to make the birds wise to different situation, right? It's like,
and again, that's why we say even your young birds, basket them up. You know what? They're too young to fly. They've been in the loft for a week. Get them in the basket. Drive them around your car. Put the feeder outside the basket. Make them eat. Eat through the basket. Wake the brain up. Teach them to handle stress. Change it up. And when you do all these things, you make them a bit smarter. It doesn't mean you're going to win anything. But what you're doing is you're adding confidence and education to the birds to handle.
And what you're doing is in the main picture is you're eliminating stress, right? The stress, you take that stress down. You teach them how to learn to eliminate situations, right?
That's right. It's just giving the birds more confidence. And you know what? You never know what you did to that pigeon that gets you to the top at the end with it. Something simple as teaching them how to drink in a basket, handle a car ride. You don't know where that comes in and helps you out. But you know what? We've been on for an hour and 48 minutes. We normally like to do these shows for an hour. Dave says, me too. Mix feed up, corn, pellets, peas, candy. Have them eating everything. And I think that's good. Have them eating everything. You want them to eat everything. The more they can eat, the better it is. And variety is great. Hey, feed them a few days straight corn. Feed them a few days pellets. Feed them a few days barley. Get them used to eating.
You know what I like to do? I like to do sometimes, I just take out feed today, straight barley.
Right.
Eat her up.
Eat her up. And they have to learn it.
Tomorrow, barley and wheat.
So,
then, you know,
again,
make them.
Again, guys, we are on every Monday night. And next Monday, I'm going to try and be on next Monday night. I'll be in the States, but we will do a show. Either Ricky will be on or it'll just be me. I don't know. Pioneer Birds, if you're sending, please let us know. And again, guys, I want to thank everyone that's participated so far. Thank you. Good job. We're going to keep going. And Ricky, good show. Even though we lost the sound, we got the sound back. It was fun. Remember, guys.
You did want to do the show and tell?
You want to? Not right. No, not this week. It's too cold.
Okay.
We'll do it next week. Hey, guys. That's Ricky.
We're good.
I'm Ryan. Pioneer One Loft Race.
Have a good one.
Family show. It was fun. You guys were good tonight. Great questions. We'll talk to you then. as we say.
I hope your best pigeon misses the wire.
Misses it or hits it?
No, if he hits it, he's screwed. But I want him to just dip below the wire. He's good. All my competition, I always say to them, I hope your best pigeon hits the wire. You know what I mean? But for you guys, I hope your best pigeon does one of these. Boom, boom. He misses it. Comes right in for you.
Keep your birds clean, guys. Get rid of the lice and mites. You know what to do. There's enough products out there. Ricky, Ryan.
Nelson.
Oh, yeah. Nelson's paint and remodeling. Use the code word Pioneer. 50% off all of your renovations. Get that for your wife. She's going to love you for it, and that'll help you get an addition onto your loft that Nelson's will take 80% off for doing that job as well. You're going to keep them busy.
Basically, he's going to do it for free.
For free. Thanks to Nelson's Paint and Remodeling.
Thanks, Nelson.
Bye for now, guys.